600 drones, launched in one single wave. That is the largest drone assault in recorded military history. 3 U.S. forward bases have gone dark. Pentagon communications dropped for 11 critical minutes. Tonight you will find out exactly which bases were hit, which weapons broke through, and why the most expensive air defense network on Earth failed to stop them. This did not happen overnight. Iran has been building toward this moment for years. It started in 2019 when the first Shahed-136 loitering munition was tested. It flew slow, quiet, and nearly invisible to radar. Nobody in Washington took it seriously. That was the first mistake. By 2022, Iran's drones were tearing through Ukrainian armor for Russia. Western analysts were alarmed. The Pentagon quietly upgraded its threat assessments. Quietly was not enough. Then came the Red Sea escalation in 2023. Houthi forces launched Shahed drones at commercial shipping. The U.S. Navy fired $2 million missiles to kill $45,000 drones. That math was brutal, and Iran was watching every single intercept. In early 2024, 3 U.S. soldiers died at Tower 22 in Jordan. One Shahed drone slipped past all defenses, completely undetected. Iran studied that gap carefully. They mapped radar coverage seams in Iraq and Syria. They tracked shift rotations at Al-Dhafra Air Base. They calculated reload times for every air defense battery in the region. Iran was not preparing for a battle. Iran was preparing for a system collapse. On a moonless night with no intelligence warning, 600 Shahed drones lifted from 4 launch sites simultaneously across Iranian territory and proxy-controlled zones in Iraq and Syria. The largest single drone launch in the history of warfare had begun. The twist nobody expected. 3 of those launch sites had been under U.S. satellite surveillance for weeks, and no order to strike them was ever given. This attack had a 90-day preparation window. Iran's IRGC aerospace force coordinated across 7 logistical nodes. Drones were disassembled and transported in 14 truck convoys moving through Iraq's Al-Anbar province. Each convoy carried components for over 40 Shahed-136 and Shahed-238 units. The Shahed-136 carries a 40-kilogram warhead. It flies at 185 kilometers per hour. Its low-altitude flight path makes it nearly invisible to most radar systems. The upgraded Shahed-238 uses a jet engine instead of a piston engine. It flies at 350 kilometers per hour, nearly double the base model. At least 160 of the 600 drones were Shahed-238 variants. IRGC commanders split the swarm into 8 waves timed 4 minutes apart. The first wave exhausted interceptor stocks. The second wave overwhelmed reload timelines. By the 5th wave, the math was impossible for defenders. Al-Assad Air Base in western Iraq took the first wave. 112 drones targeted Al-Assad in the opening 18 minutes. Al-Assad houses the 409th Air Expeditionary Group, MQ-9 Reaper drones, CRAM defense systems, and approximately 900 U.S. personnel. The CRAM systems were overwhelmed in under 9 minutes. The communications relay facility 3 kilometers outside Al-Assad's perimeter was hit next. That facility handles encrypted communications for U.S. Central Command across the entire region. It went offline at 2:17 a.m. local time. That is when the 11-minute Pentagon blackout began. The third target was Al-Tanf garrison in southern Syria. Fewer than 300 U.S. Special Operations Forces operate there. 88 drones hit Al-Tanf from 2 directions simultaneously. The garrison's Stinger missiles and single Avenger air defense unit ran critically low on ammunition within 6 minutes. The Patriot PAC-3 battery assigned to regional coverage was positioned 47 kilometers from Al-Assad. At that range, against low-flying, slow targets using terrain-masking flight paths, Patriot's engagement capability was severely degraded. Patriot is built for ballistic missiles at high altitude. A Shahed flying at 200 meters across flat desert is not what Patriot was designed to kill at maximum range. Iron Dome performed better. It intercepted 63 drones in the initial waves at Al-Assad. 63 kills is a real achievement. But 63 out of 112 incoming means 49 got through. U.S. forces expended an estimated 340 interceptors across the 3 bases in the first 2 hours. The cost of those interceptors alone exceeded $1 billion. By 4:30 a.m., damage teams were working Al-Assad under emergency conditions. 14 structures had sustained direct hits. The runway had 3 impact craters. 2 MQ-9 Reaper aircraft were destroyed on the ground. Al-Tanf was rendered tactically non-functional for 72 hours. Special operations personnel were evacuated under fire. Equipment was left behind. Among the wreckage at Al-Tanf, investigators found drone fragments matching no known Shahed variant in any public database. The guidance electronics were not Iranian in origin. They were not Chinese. They were not Russian. What they are is the most dangerous question in the next section. The Shahed-136 is a flying landmine. It does not need precision. It needs numbers. Its range is 2,000 kilometers. Its 40-kilogram warhead delivers significant structural damage. Its piston engine produces a distinctive buzzing sound, giving defenders roughly 30 to 45 seconds of audio warning at low altitude. The Shahed-238 eliminates that warning. Its jet engine raises speed to 350 kilometers per hour. A leaked CENTCOM internal assessment from early 2025 indicates the Shahed-238's radar cross-section is approximately 0.05 square meters. A seagull registers 0.01 square meters on radar. The Shahed-238 is barely 5 times more visible than a bird. And American radar in the region was not calibrated to prioritize targets in that signature range during routine operations. Iron Dome has intercepted thousands of rockets since 2011, with a documented success rate exceeding 90% against conventional threats. Its Tamir interceptor works within 4 to 70 kilometers. Its radar tracks up to 1,000 simultaneous targets. Against rockets on ballistic trajectories, it is nearly perfect. Against a drone swarm, it faces a saturation problem. Iron Dome's targeting algorithm must calculate which contacts threaten protected assets and which will miss. In a dense swarm with overlapping flight paths, that calculation degrades rapidly. 56% interception at Al-Assad is the documented result. In air defense terms, 56% is a catastrophic failure rate. The fragments recovered at Al-Tanf point to a third-generation Iranian loitering munition with partially autonomous targeting capability. This means a drone capable of identifying military vehicles and radar installations without a human operator making the final strike decision. Its range is reportedly over 3,000 kilometers, enough to reach every U.S. base from Qatar to Diego Garcia from Iranian soil. Its warhead is estimated at 65 kilograms, with a penetrating design to defeat hardened shelters. If confirmed, the 600 drones were not just an attack. They were a demonstration of what Iran is holding in reserve. Back-channel communications through Omani intermediaries produce a de-escalation framework within 72 hours. The U.S. conducts limited precision strikes on IRGC drone production facilities in Isfahan and Semnan provinces, using B-2 Spirit bombers with GBU-57 penetrating munitions. Iran accepts the exchange as proportional. Neither side crosses into full direct conflict. The clock on this window is 48 to 72 hours maximum. After that, Iranian hardliners inside the IRGC make restraint politically impossible for Tehran's leadership. If that window closes without agreement, the Quds Force activates proxy networks simultaneously across 5 fronts. Hezbollah launches massed Fateh 110 and Zelzal rocket barrages from Lebanon. Houthi forces hit Strait of Hormuz shipping lanes with suicide drone boats. Iraqi militias strike the Baghdad Green Zone. 11,000 U.S. troops across the region face simultaneous engagement on every front. The USS Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group begins combat operations in the Gulf of Oman. But a carrier group burning through air defense interceptors at combat intensity runs critically low on magazine capacity within 4 days. Brent crude spikes past $140 per barrel within 36 hours. The Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of global oil passes, becomes a fully contested war zone. The countdown to that point of no return is not measured in weeks, it is measured in hours. And every hour without a political solution makes the catastrophic scenario more likely than the managed one. Here is what changes everything. The 600 drones were not the main weapon. They were the distraction. while air defense systems burned through interceptors, while radar operators tracked hundreds of contacts, while communications went dark for 11 minutes. Satellite imagery shows IRGC ballistic missile convoys departing 3 central Iranian installations during the exact window of the drone assault. They were not moving drones. The vehicles were too large, the heat signatures too significant. Iran was moving medium-range ballistic missiles to pre-surveyed launch positions. The drone attack was a live rehearsal for missile saturation. Every intercepted drone gave Iran real combat data, reaction times, engagement ranges, ammunition expenditure rates, exactly how many simultaneous contacts it takes to exhaust each specific battery before its reload cycle completes. Iran spent $45,000 per drone to extract that data. America spent over $1 billion in interceptors to give it to them. 3 bases will spend 6 months in reconstruction. The Pentagon will spend years explaining what happened. And Iran will spend that same time planning what comes next. In the strategic intelligence exchange of this entire engagement, there is one clear winner and one clear loser. The winner is the side that now knows exactly how to break the system. The loser is the side that paid to show them how. The most dangerous weapon used that night was not a drone. It was information. Iran now has the data. The next move is not drones. The next move is ballistic missiles, dozens of them, fired simultaneously at the same targets. So ask yourself this: if 600 slow drones overwhelmed the most expensive air defense network on Earth, what happens when 60 ballistic missiles arrive at Mach 8? That answer is coming in the next video. Subscribe now, hit the notification bell, because what comes next is far worse than what you just heard.